Welcome back, everybody, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. I'm Grumpy Grandpa Gaming, and this is episode 14 of our Union Summer 61 campaign in version 1.11 using the A.O.M Mod. Now, before we begin, just going through the analytics again, and I really do have to turn this into a Monday video rant. More than 50% of my returning viewers are not yet subscribed, so if you're one of those returning viewers and you join the content, remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below. Alright, moving on from there. As you can see, we're already loaded onto a battle map, and it's the Olusty Battlefield map, which I'd been hoping for in the previous two battles in Florida. And now we're actually nowhere near Olusty, we're actually getting the battle map for it. A little historical note on Olusty. It's not a well-known fight. It's actually one of the historical battles in the game, which I'm glad they've done it because it's a very little known fight that happened between Jacksonville and Tallahassee. So I can't remember. I think it was General Seymour, without orders, was pushing his troops trying to cut off food supplies for the Confederate Army prior to him losing the troops that he had under his command. This battle took place just prior to General Grant launching his final campaign against Lee. And he was going to lose the few troops that he did already have. And he advanced down the road without orders, more than likely just hoping to gain a little glory for himself. And as I said, disrupt food supplies, as Florida at the time, not Texas, was the main cattle producing area of the country. It wasn't until after the war that Texas became the big cattle empire that it is. Prior to that, and even still today, Florida is a big cattle location. So we're approaching this battle a little differently. Original battle lines: the Confederates entrenched here along a lusty creek, blocking the road and rail line. But the battle happened about in this area right here where my mouse is. The Union Army, if you can really call it one, is more of a division in strength. Actually wasn't even going to make it to Olusty Station. They were getting ready to withdraw. They were already in that bad a shape. So the Confederates actually sent out a reconnaissance in force, and it ended up slowly dragging in the rest of the Confederate forces and ended up with a battle over here. And actually one of the few battles where a rail car was used with an artillery piece on it, which I always found interesting. If you're in the Jacksonville area, it's about 40 minutes west of there. And you can view the entire battlefield in about 25-30 minutes. It's a nice little battlefield park. I highly recommend visiting it if you are in the area. I certainly enjoyed it. Alright, so we are approaching from the south, and we do outnumber the Confederates. So I have 14,926 on the field to their 8,000. So I'm just going to make short work of this. I'm going to push my divisions right up the road at Olusty Station. Now, the terrain here, even though it shows it a little hilly on this map, when I visited this battlefield, it was nothing like that. Got all these dispersed pines here? Yes, it was like that. And it is some of the flattest terrain I had ever seen. No cover whatsoever. Like, if you're coming through here as an infantryman fighting, there was just no cover at all, anywhere. So, dispersed trees, cattle grazing area. It was wide open and open for terrible fires in both directions. So the only thing that's really going to hold us up here in this attack is this swamp and creek combination down here. And I have the feeling the rebels will be set up to defend along this location if they're not set up on the railroad tracks back at Olusty Station. So I'm going to get my troops set up, cavalry in the lead, infantry following, and we're going to go kick this little force in front of us out of the way, and hopefully it won't take too long. So I'll be back once I have contact with the rebels. Alright, it's 12:15 in game. Moved in along about an hour. We have the rebels sided. They got some entrenchments built. I don't see anybody in them. Artillery down on the road, infantry to their right. So what I'm going to do now is I am pushing my infantry forward. I got one division coming up. I got two divisions coming up. We should only need the one, though. Yep, there's artillery off on the right of them. So I'm going to have my cavalry division push around to the right and come in behind them. Because this is all swamp over here. There's no way they're going to be effectively pushed through there. So I'm going to send them up to the road here and come in behind them at a lusty station. So hopefully that doesn't take too long to get into position. All I said was bring in your scouts. Where the hell are you going? Oh, cavalry's still coming up. All right. So I'll pause this here while I'm making those moves happen. It's going to take a little while for my troops to get down this road here. This is all sand and hard to march on. If anybody's walked on a sandy fire break, you know what that is like. It's just terrible. So I'll be back. So it's 15:30 in game, or going on 15:30, and I do have my troops in position now to start pushing forward. I got the 3 support batteries for my 3 infantry divisions forward, firing a counter battery at their lines right now. So we are taking a little more casualties than they are. Some of their batteries are, all their batteries are 10 guns each. And there's one you can't see over here on the left that's actually 15 guns. So cavalry's in the rear. I was hoping they would, the troops are a little tired. So they are fatigued out from moving through where they were. But we're now ready to start pushing the cavalry into town. And we're going to start pushing this infantry division, the 5th Infantry, across the creek here into the flank of these entrenchments. So it's going to take a little while for those orders to go out, so I'll be back. So it's 1640. My infantry is finally starting to close in on their entrenchments. The rebels are reacting by sending their infantry to go meet them, so I'm going to start sending 4th Division forward to catch these boys out on the flank. This brigade's just already exhausted, so it's going to take them forever to get in position. But these 2 brigades were good to go, and I can wrap them around with the cavalry. We've just about seized a lusty station, so I'm going to be ordering the cavalry forward to grab up the artillery units that are sitting behind the infantry if they move out of the way. So we already cleared off 1 battery. My guns did better than I expected, and I forgot all the batteries in my 2 regular corps. Every battery is a 10-pound Parrott. So nothing but the best for the regulars. And for my viewer units who are slowly getting better weapons. Alright, we have seized a lusty station. Yeah, that's a 15-gun battery back there. So, 5th Regiment, you're going to go take care of that. I have these 2 brigades just advanced down either side of the road here in preparation. Got ready to start having. This battery's ready to go, so it shouldn't take much to break them. Then we can get a flanking rear fire on this, I guess it's McClaw's brigade. And why are you guys not advancing yet? The Corps, the Army, Division commanders are right here. There we go. You guys have been laying down in the sun. It's time to start moving. Got a little daylight left to get this over with. I don't want this going into a day 2 for no reason. It's just taking me forever to get these troops in position. And there goes that battery. Nice when you have more troops than the enemy, but just getting into position to take care of them is an issue. Looks like their infantry's falling back now. I think this might go to a day 2. You guys just march there. Yeah, we got less than an hour left and we still haven't actually really engaged. Go get that battery. I want to send these 2 cavalry brigades to go over to this infantry will rip them apart. Yeah, we got them up to 100 casualties. They did have us over on casualties at the start of this. As well, but they were firing artillery at us while we're getting in position. I have a feeling these are numbered 6-pounders back here. So they really weren't putting out too much damage. Now this brigade's exhausted. Is their infantry going to keep moving away from us? It looks like. Looks like the rebels are turtling down. Forward a bit. Just firing. Ah, they finally caught him. Don't let them flee. Stay on them. If I could win this battle by maneuver and not take too many casualties, I'll take that. Are they not firing? I think that detachment might be bugged out. Keep advancing. Go get those boys. This terrain is just not good for marching on. And I got these guys advancing through the marsh too. Forgot about that. You know what? The 5th's in a good position to come in on the rear of these guys. Let's move this brigade around here. Yeah, the infantry's falling back further. I never looked at their morale. Morale's at 42, so they should be putting up a fight. Dismount. Going in on that fire. Cause some flank casualties will do it. Very good. Keep shooting at them. Let that battery out. These guys are locked in like damn. That detachment's throwing off these guys. very good job over here. Stay on them. Stay on them. Oh, I think they're coming back here to come get the 5th. That's what they're doing. Men are in that brigade. 2,800. You guys shift in that direction. Okay, this detachment's bugged out, and it's affecting my brigade now. That is not good. Once again, I think the AI is cheating. Now I'm up to 600 casualties, 8% of their force. And we're in a perfect position to ride our cavalry into the infantry once they start to break. My Maynards have them outranged. They may not have good weapons. Didn't I tell you guys to dismount? Look at that. That detachment broke a brigade. Fall back. Get away from that detachment. Cavalry's doing excellent work up here. Taking 11 casualties and dealt out 350. Looks like we'll have this. We might have this over by sundown if we are lucky. They broke. They reformed and then broke again. You guys are still trying to get across that creek. Those rifles in the fight. I think breaking this brigade will do it for us. You guys need to get up there and support the cavalry. Brigade breaking did not help us. There we go. Took that one down. You boys keep moving up. You're doing excellent work. Never usually get this much use out of my cavalry. And 13th just broke. Oh, come on. 11th is about to break. Really? Rally your men. Cavalry's still hanging in there. Looks like we're better than rebel infantry now. And the 11th just broke. Alright, cavalry, it's on you. The infantry's not going to be up before we lose daylight. Why do you guys keep shifting? I keep telling you to advance and fire. Why do you keep shifting? This is all that's left over here. You just gotta see who breaks first. My cavalry or the infantry. Stop turning to face the damn retreating soldiers. Shoot these guys. We got a few minutes of daylight left. I want this over. This is our victory. It's all over in our favor. It looks like it's starting to withdraw, so they'll withdraw overnight probably. We almost have them at a major victory at 22.8% casualties and we lost 1,700 men. There you go, there you are, now retreating. We actually have 15 minutes to pursue. These guys can just keep firing away where they are. We're about to have that major victory. Alright, you guys mount up. That battery. Now. Major victory. There we go. Let this pursuit finish out. We'll see how badly we can maul this force. I'm not going to bother chasing the infantry. We can never catch them anymore since the update. So we'll go after the 2 batteries over here. And I ordered them to charge into retreating unit when they break. Oh, that's hilarious. Ugh. That's hilarious. Not really. Keep shooting at them. Speed this up. There they all go. All right. I mean, that terrain really exhausted my men heavily. They really didn't have far to march. This is not one of the bigger maps, but the terrain here, if you've never been there, like I said, it is nothing but soft, loamy sand, and it is just... If you ever... Any of you guys are military, like you're like Fort Bragg or someplace else that's those huge fire breaks that are nothing but sand, you know how difficult it is to walk on that stuff. It feels like every step forward is 5. So it takes a while to walk through it. Especially if you're, when you think about it, you're wearing brogans which have no traction whatsoever, it's got to be even worse. Alright, so we lost 207 of our 11,472 infantry, 152 of our 2,300 cavalry, 3 of our 81 guns, for a total loss of 397 of our 14,926 man force. The rebels lost 1,500 or 6,500 infantry. They had no cavalry at the fight. They lost all 60 of their guns, which I think were all 6-pounders, so they didn't really put out much damage. For a total loss of 2,100 of their 7,500 man force. So that's a big hit. That's a quarter of their force right there. Let's see how my boys did here. Engineers didn't fight. 2nd Cavalry Division. So 5th Cavalry did 299 to infantry, 111 to artillery. They took 143 artillerymen prisoner. Total of 553. 6th Cavalry did 513 to infantry and 45 to artillery for a total of 559. And the 4th U.S. did 488 to infantry and 4 more to artillery for a total of 494. Division total of 1,600. These guys did the majority of the work. I just saw my infantry was so exhausted, it was just breaking off the bat. I mean, look at these division totals for the 4th, 6th, and 5th. I mean, 278, 51, 143. I'm not even going to go through them individually. So the cavalry, I never use my cavalry this much. You all know that. They did all the work. Along with the support bat. Most of these numbers are from the support batteries. Like, yeah. So I broke 3rd U.S. Company E, 3rd U.S. I broke off from their division and sent forward. They did 44 to artillery, 4 to infantry, total of 51. 13th did a little work before they broke, but very little. I mean, they did 31 casualties to artillery. Their artillery battery did 17 to infantry and 83 to artillery for a total of 104. And same here. I mean, 11th didn't fight very long. They got a total of 253, but their battery did 916 for a total of 25. So it's the cavalry that did everything. I can't believe I'm singing the praise of cavalry. Oh yeah, let's hard save here just in case we have a crash. I mean, that attack could have gone a lot better. I could have waited for day 2, but then I would have taken attrition casualties overnight, and I think I got off light with the casualties. Considering, once again, we were attacking. Both forces were not their first battle, so I think we got off light on the casualty side. Especially because I was able to put my batteries of Parrots forward, and they were going up against those 6-pounders. They just laid waste to the rebel artillery, even though they're not perked up. They had much higher damage effect than their artillery did. Alright, you can load out anytime now. I'm going to talk my whole way through that, but there's nothing to talk about this time. Alright, Battle of Newnansville has ended with the Army of Pensacola and Van Dorn's Corps retreating. The Image Pros suffered total casualties of 2,071 men. There are 346 killed and 836 captured. Our casualties total 397 men, with 64 killed and 73 missing, and the rest wounded. We've captured 525 rifles and 20 guns from the battlefield and sent 827 men off to POW camps. Lieutenant Colonel Kilpatrick loses his face. Really? I didn't think he was in this corps. Or is that the Confederate Kilpatrick? We gotta take a look at that. And Ledbetter, the Army commander, lost face. Ledbetter is commander of the Army of Pensacola. It's rare to see the Army commander lose face like that. Alright, now that we're out of there, we can actually recap last episode. So, last episode, we had Battle of Mississippi City, with the 10th and 11th Corps attacking Lovell's and Withers Corps of Stuart's army. Stuart was not on the field himself, which gave us the advantage of being able to take on both of his corps while they were disorganized for the most part. Neither one was working in concert. Anybody who watched that battle, you saw how big of a mess of a fight it was. If Stuart had been on the field coordinating both of his corps, I probably would have lost that battle. Because it came very close in the end. 11th Corps is basically 11th Corps shattered for the most part because I overused it. 10th Corps was exhausted trying to get into position. Things have turned into a god-awful mess. And I was actually on the point of, and I didn't mention it during the video, but I was actually thinking about withdrawing my forces out of combat and waiting to go into a day 5. But we didn't have to do that, thankfully. Now, let's get these 2 combats rolled off. So, this battle essentially happened. This hasn't rolled off, so day 2 or day 3. I want to say day 3 of Mississippi City is when this happened. Oh, we actually have an overcrowded POW camp now. Camp Chase. Let's take a look at our prison camps. Camp Chase is overcrowded. How's Detroit looking? They're at 7,500. And how's our New York prison looking? Up here in the nether reaches of the state. They're at 7,500. And I don't want to spend the money to upgrade them right now, so we'll hold off on that. So like I was saying, we did fight the Battle of Mississippi City. We also took, Fort Pike? Yep. And we are now trying to maneuver 10th Corps into New Orleans. So as soon as this battle is over, I'm going to have them back towards St. Helena and then come back down to New Orleans. Originally, when I originally pathed them, it was actually going to have them march straight at Fort Macomb, which I did not want them to do. We could take New Orleans without taking Fort Macomb. I want to leave that to 1st Corps, 1st U.S. Army to take care of. And these 2 island fortifications I'll probably try to take down with one of my fleets. That still has not rolled off. That was a long battle. Alright, 1st Corps is in position. You and your Army Command into Mobile. See if we can't catch these 2 retreating corps in another combat while their morale is crap. They're outnumbered 1st Corps, but the morale is shot at this point. And again, so is 11th. So I need them moving. Oh, and you got your 3rd perk. Flying Calm, definitely need that down here. You start moving towards St. Helena. 10th Corps get into town in Covington. Where is Army Command? Oh, it's 6th Army I'm ordering. It's 10th I just ordered. I need 11th moving. They are down to yellow. Can I get them into Covington? Looks like I can. You guys moving to St. Helena. So my plan for right now is still to get 10th Corps into New Orleans and winter there. I want 10th sitting at St. Helena for the winter. This way in the spring we can move 10th straight up in the Baton Rouge, and we can have them march up to Port Hudson, up to Natchez, and then up to Vicksburg, while 10th Corps, or correction, 11th Corps moves up the rail tracks to take Jackson. So they can screen us while we were taking Vicksburg. The only Confederate forces on the western side of me is the Army of Texas, which is not very big. We haven't seen them since August, but they only got 7,000 men, and the Indian Army got another 9,500 men, which is way up in Indian Territory. So, should be nothing else going on the map. Oh, and we do have the siege at Wheeling going on. Almost forgot about that. So 8th Corps is on their way up there to support. Looks like they are about in range. I need to get 2nd Army in range also. They are not in range for some reason, so we gotta get them closer. So I want the entirety of the army. Look at all these rebel corps here. Army of Alabama, Porter's Corps, Polk's Corps, Bragg's Corps, Army of Shenandoah, Beauregard's Corps, Department of Norfolk, Warren's Corps, Army of the Peninsula. Some of those corps, like Army Peninsula, Department of Norfolk, they are not very big forces. They're mostly like 1 or 2 cavalry brigades, and nothing much else. Could have sworn he had a flag already. Yeah, that works. Siege is very much in our favor. We only have 18,000 men participating in the siege, so I'm kind of worried if I turn this over into an assault. Oh, and they got more troops coming up. This is going to be a big Rochambeau up here. So it'll probably be the last battle before winter sets in. Alright, 2nd Corps, start moving on Lake City. Army, you start moving over there too. It looks like we have chased, I don't know, Moton's Corps. That's a new name. I don't know who had command of that corps prior. So we have taken Cedar Key Port back. And how did the Engineer Corps end up way up there? You come down to Tallahassee. I need you moving behind these rebels and getting back in position So I did have them building a fortification down here at Cedar Key, and they got chased away. So I'm using Florida as an experiment in trying to flip a rebel state that's not supposedly scripted for it. It only shows us having 4% support here, even though we control all the major cities. So we should have more support there, even with this one rebel fortification that's still south of us they recaptured. Alright, looks like everybody's getting sucked into this one up here. Where's my army command? Why is 8th Corps not involved yet? I need you guys in there. And we're up to 22. They're up to 24,000 now involved in the siege. I need to get 8th Corps into this siege. I'm going to let this siege play out as long as possible. I feel we're going to do a lot more damage to the rebels than they will do to us. So I'm very happy to let it continue on like that. So we'll let that one play out longer. And I'll be back, hopefully, with the capture of New Orleans. So it's October 23rd, and I'll just bring you guys in to see this. So we have everybody in the Western Virginia Theater involved in the Siege of Wheeling now. Both 4th Corps and 8th Corps are in the fight. I'm bringing 46,729 men, 6,100 cavalry, over 200 guns. All of these corps combined, which used to be almost 118,000 men, is now down to 78,000, called 79,000 infantry and 6,400 cavalry and 124 guns. Just a case in point, Army of Peninsula, which at the start of the campaign, which was one of the biggest forces they had, has 50 men in one battery, 59 in another, less than 200 in one of their cavalry regiments, and a little over 500 in another one. Department of Norfolk, another one that has no infantry left in it. It's got about 1,300 men total. Loring's Corps, which is one of the A.O. Army Northern Virginia Corps, is everything is seriously beat down. We haven't taken too many losses at Wheeling, but we have knocked down the rebels considerably. The siege is showing in their favor now since they've shoved all their corps into the fight. Apparently we're starting to take more casualties even though they don't have a perk for it. And with the amount of artillery we have, we should be doing a lot more damage to them than they are to us. But I'm going to let this play out a little longer. As long as our corps stay in the green, I'm going to let this play out. And once we start getting towards yellow readiness... Oh, we're taking casualties on our officers. Okay. But that might be an effect from last... no, we didn't lose too many officers in this corps. We lost 3 officers in 11th Corps. Like I said, we'll let that play out. We're probably taking casualties in the artillery batteries. That usually happens during the sieges. So, like I said, we'll let that play on. 10th Corps is taking forever to get into St. Helena. Thought they'd be there by now. But these roads are not that good. Hopefully we can take the train down into New Orleans and get them in there. 10th Corps, or 11th Corps is going to have to stop at Covington to get the readiness back up because we are a rebel territory. They will not be able to move while they are orange. They can move while they have the original orders, but they're not going to be able to move any further. And it looks like I may have to go start an attack with 1st Corps, which is only 18,000 men, to push off these 2 corps. But they should not be getting any... I don't know why it shows them control Mississippi City. They should have no control of that. So I'm going to order forward 1st Corps. Going engage these two corps. It may just push them off, and they'll retreat north, hopefully. I want them out of the region for the winter. I don't need to keep an eye on them. I just want them gone so my troops can rest and resupply. So, I'll be back. Alright, it's October 25th. And 1st Corps, 1st Army has caught up to Lovell's Corps. I can't say caught up. They were both just sitting here. So apparently Trimble's Corps is in no shape to fight. And that was actually the larger corps. Our forces are about even, so I'm glad the other corps is not involved in this. So, infantry were about even. I have a 1,000, 1,400 man advantage in cavalry, but artillery is where my real advantage is. So I have 83 guns coming to the field because this corps is set up to be a siege force and not a ground combat force, and they only have the 14 guns. So, I wonder if this is going to be the Battle of Mississippi City or Mobile. We'll see. We're going to take this fight, and I'll be back after load screen. Welcome to 2nd Mobile. So the regulars are coming out to play this episode. 2 battles, both with the regular corps. You know, I want to say this map looks familiar, but I'm not sure if I've fought on it before or not. Bishop's Ridge. Yeah, Garrett's Water. We fought on this map before. This is our first Florida fight. We actually fought down here around Coleman's Mill. Alright, yeah. So, I'm not liking this. I mean, we are on the defense, which is good. But where the defense point is just all marsh and woods. There's really no place to bring all of my artillery to bear. That massive advantage in artillery I have is basically non-existent. And the amount of approach paths that the rebels have also has me a little worried. So I was thinking about setting up forward here. Like, we have most of the map to set up on. And I thought about setting up forward here on this road here. Thinking that they might take this road along Bishop's Ridge and come up this way. But they got too many paths they can take. They could use this road. They could use this road. And come down here, come up this way. They got this road here they could set up on and swing out this way. I'm really not liking this. Though I do think my best chance of blocking them early on and not having to wait forever for them to show up is setting up back here on this creek, blocking the road here and here. I could put a division on either side of this lake. And this is all marshland back here. This is not good terrain to be fighting on. This is all marsh and woodland. I'm very unhappy with it. I think we got to deal with it. So I believe I'm going to set my infantry up, like I said, right here. 2 divisions and another division here, and probably put my artillery reserve back, my artillery division back here. They're probably going to be useless, and send my cavalry up this way just in case. Though I do believe the AI will use the center road here along Bishop's Ridge. I just want to make sure I can block them, so I'm going to set my troops up, and I'll be back with that shortly. So I just noticed something screwy, and it should have caught my eye at the Battle of Mississippi City when I saw all those 20-pounders in that army. My troops are armed with weapons they are not supposed to be. Every unit in this corps, in 1st and 2nd Corps, are supposed to have Sharps rifles. Not Sharps rifles, supposed to have Springfield rifles. I'd armed everybody with Springfields. Now the Marines have Mississippis. 6th U.S. has got Enfields. 7th still has their Springfields, but down here, so my 2 sharpshooter regiments, brigades, still have their Sharps rifles, but the 2nd U.S. has Sharps rifles. The 1st U.S. has Sharps rifles. The 3rd U.S. Infantry's got Halls. I took these out of service. Nobody's supposed to have these damn things. I got a battery of 14-pound James. another battery 14-pound James. The rest are 10-pounders like they should be. But those two 14s, these are supposed to be my 20 and 30-pounders. So I don't know what's going on with that. And it's got me a little pissed off. That's the engineers. All right. There's something screwy going on there, and it's pissing me off. Put you guys there. So I got to go through all of my forces after this battle and look at everybody's weaponry now. Because I never auto-upgraded anything. I individually issued weapons to every brigade, and now nobody's armed correctly. This is... this game sometimes. Oh, it's outside the deployment zone. Alright, so you got 3rd Division down here on the left. 1st and 2nd up here along this creek bed. Set the artillery up back here, but they're not going to be much help to us, I don't think. They're just going to be there. I'm going to be sending the cavalry just up to cover this road just in case. And they can still come back down and support us as necessary. So we're just going to hang out up there for the time being. Once we've figured out what the rebels are doing. Which is probably going to be using this road here. So I'm sorry for that little rant. But I am pissed right now that the game's been doing this crap. It should have never happened. So, we'll hit play, we'll get some skirmishers set up, and I will be back once we have sighting on the rebels. And apparently the rebels do not want to use the road. They are marching straight through the woods at us. So, probably a better approach path for them, honestly. It looks like one of their brigades is ready to break. The European brigade looks like it's ready to break. Their morale cannot be good after the last New Orleans Guard's down to 750 men. Critten's at 2,100. European brigade's at 1,000. So these guys took some damage in the last fight. Preston's regiment looks like it's ready to go. Yeah, sighting on these guns is just non-existent. So it looks like they're trying to come out to this road here and then march up towards us. One good thing is, you know, outside of being pissed off, no one has the correct weaponry. It is all sharps, basically, along this creek bed. It's all nothing but sharps rifles. We're just going to rip apart anything that comes at us like we got machine guns. So, yeah, it looks like everything's up here in the woods. Which means I should be able to bring around 3rd Division for a flank attack if they start pushing up this road. And I can actually bring the cavalry. They are so far away, though. They're up here. I have orders to move to the open field just to watch this direction. It'll take them forever to get down to this fight. I think I may just leave them out of it. I'll be back once the shooting starts. So it's 1347. It looks like Preston's regiment here is trying to commit suicide. Firing time. There we go. Oh yeah, they just got hammered hard. It's both of the sharpshooter brigades. The 1st and 2nd U.S. sharpshooters. There they go. And they are stuck there. Awesome. Now, turn your facing. I want you shooting at them. Short range, and stop wasting ammo. That damn glitch. Looks like my artillery division does have some range. And it looks like they're trying to avoid this open field here. That works for me. I can wrap around on them. We're not going to be moving you guys. Recall your skirmishers, and we'll bring you around up the road. We'll pincer them in. It'll take a while for those orders to get out. Detach his artillery. There goes Wharton's brigade. Now to get some artillery running up the road at us. How is that? No. I'm gonna just advance and engage. I gotta put these guys back on long range. Ah. You guys swing it out. This fight's not gonna last long. Guys are back on long range. He'll take down these. Nope, there goes that battery already. How the hell these guys got Whitworths? I didn't order Whitworth rifles unless we captured a bunch. What the hell is going on with my game? We had no Whitworths in stock whatsoever. Yeah, this battle will be over any minute. We already have almost 1,000 casualties. And they are breaking. Get your advance orders. Come on. Brigade's now broken. Clayton. Greg will be next, it looks like. There they go. Play this along. 1,600 casualties, 10% of their force. We have less than 100 casualties. So that's going to climb with these guys firing back. But I'd like to know what happened with all the weaponry in this corps. I have to go through everybody now because of this. Yeah, I'm going to be over 100 casualties now. I don't know what the AI was thinking taking this fight. Speed this up. Alright. Quick and simple. Though I am angry about the weapons right now. I mean, the Corps is very well armed, but they're not supposed to have any of these weapons. Alright, so we inflicted 1,300 casualties on their 14,000 infantry. Took down 400 or 1,100 cavalry. We got 10 of their 15 guns because for some reason they decided to send them down the road at us. Which will have 1,800 of their 15,000 men. Wow, we chopped this corps down by about half. This corps was almost at 30,000. At Battle of Mississippi City, both of those corps were like 25 to 30,000 men, levels, and withers. So we lost 124 infantry, one of our guns, for a total loss of 134 of our 18,064 men. I just want to see the paperwork. Hard save right here. First U.S. sharpshooters put out a lot of fire. I want to see how they did. The correct one there. There we go. 1st Infantry Regiment, which also has sharps, did 141. But the 1st U.S. sharpshooters, 946 total. 768 to infantry and 178 to cavalry. And that battery, Company G, did better than I think it should have, because they were armed with 3-inch ordnance rifles. They're supposed to have Napoleons or 10-pounders. And they actually didn't do too bad for having 3-inch ordnance rifles. Would have been nice if we inflicted a few more casualties, but it wasn't to be. They started breaking as soon as they were in contact. And who the hell? I didn't order those guys up. Huh. Alright. Let's get closed out of here. So, like I said, I'm pissed off about the weapons. I'm going to go through all my corps right after we roll this off. And we'll carry this through to the end of the month. I think, yeah, it's October 25th now. We got 6 days left in the month. I doubt we're going to get into New Orleans in that time. But it'll allow us to open with the November monthlies on next episode. So, next episode will probably be an administration episode. If the Confederates stay quiet over the winter like they did the 61-62 winter, maybe we can get our forces back up to strength. I get the weapons figured out. But it'll probably be an administration episode on the next one. I won't do another part 1, part 2. That was a bit much. That was a lot of work on those two. It was a lot of game time I didn't realize I'd put in there. Alright, the Battle of 2nd Mobile has ended with Lovell's Corps retreating. Suffered total casualties of 1,781 men. There are 307 killed, 316 captured. We lost 134 men with 13 killed, 16 missing. Captured 695 rifles and 3 guns from the battlefield and sent another 304 soldiers off to prison camps. Colonel Lewis loses face. I gotta keep reading over here to see if we take out any officers. If you read over here, you can see if you got any of their officers or not. KIA. Doesn't look like we got any this time. Alrighty, I'm gonna pause this here, take a look at all of my Corps' weaponry, and then I'll probably come back for an outro here in a little bit. I'll be back. Disaster at Wheeling. I took my eyes off the siege because I thought it was going to be able to play through until November. So, 4th Corps has lost the siege along with 8th Corps, even though I really feel that we should have won this fight, and we actually did take more casualties than the rebels did, amazingly, even with our artillery advantage. So the enemies reportedly suffered total casualties of 6,324 men. They are up 786 killed and 1,134 captured. Our casualties total 7,186 men with 981 killed, 964 missing, and the rest wounded. We sent another 1,089 soldiers off to prison camps. So over here on the right-hand side, this is something I usually don't pay attention to, but does get good information, is this paragraph here. The Battle of Wheeling was fought for 18 days between the Federal 4th Corps and 8th Corps, doesn't mention them, with some 58,408 troops and 203 guns. And I guess Army of the Peninsula was in charge of the fight, but with all the Corps together, they brought 92,000 troops to the field, which is a fair shot lower than some of the initial fighting at the start of the campaign season, when all these troops... There's more Corps that fought at this siege than in the first battle of, I want to say, 3rd or 4th Wheeling, where they had over 118,000 troops, and they had far fewer Corps on the scene. And they had 103 guns less than us. So casualties for both sides total about 14,000. So, alright, it is October 31st, about to roll into, there we go, November 1st. So we will be back. I think all these forces will now turn their attention towards Winchester next, which will actually be good for us. It will give 4th and 8th Corps a break. 8th Corps really hasn't fought, but 8th Corps got 4,700, almost 4,800 disabled men. 4th Corps is now 4,500 disabled. Almost 10,000 men disabled for the Army. So I think this is a good thing. I really do hate to say that, but this will give these 2 Corps a break, allow them to refit. So it doesn't look like 4th Corps is retreating any further. No, they're still retreating. Doesn't show me where they're going, though. Where's 8th Corps going? 8th Corps is coming up here to Alliance. Need to know where 4th is going. 4th is probably going to Cambridge or Marietta. Where's the Army going? An Army's going to Alliance also. Why is it not showing me where they're going? Oh, they're retreating. Oh, they're going to retreat across everybody to Pittsburgh. You know what? That's fine. That leaves them in command distance of General Ord. So I'm going to have to go through these 2 Corps, find out wounded, dead officers, who's defamed. But that'll be next episode. I was really hoping to be in New Orleans this episode, but that just was not happening. 10th and 11th Corps both down in the orange on readiness. 11th's back into the yellow, but 10th is still orange. So he's got a few more days before he's back in the yellow. So I'm hoping sometime. I really wanted them in New Orleans this episode. It looks like it will be next episode. So that'll be that. So Stuart's army is now retreated to the island that houses Fort Massachusetts after the last battle. So that should give us a chance to go after Fort Gaines now, hopefully. Even though our control ends here, I do need to get more naval forces in the water. I'm currently emptying out Pensacola Depot, and I'm going to abandon it because I have no troops at Pensacola. I don't plan on having troops there. I do have the Engineer Corps building a fortification outside of Tallahassee, which I think politically would be a correct move in flavor sense, as this is the capital of Florida, so having a fortification at Tallahassee to maintain control of it is something that would have been done. Second Corps is trying to push onto Finnegan's Corps, which reared its ugly. It's only 6,000 men, but they were threatening my Engineer Corps, and I didn't want to have them pushed off again before the fort was built. So Second Corps is attempting to close in with them, but the Army of Pensacola keeps retreating down here. This is the Army headquarters. Retreats down, comes back up to the road, stops this corps dead in its tracks. I reorder it. The headquarters retreats again, comes back up again. It keeps stopping my corps from engaging with Finnegan, and I need them kicked away from here. So I'd like to get Finnegan kicked away before the other corps comes back down. The other corps is up north building a supply depot outside of Troopville. I want these guys gone so I can get my troops into winter quarters, and then in the spring go retake Fort Brooke and retake that supply depot so I can destroy it. Move the supplies out and then destroy it. So things have gotten a little interesting, especially with the loss at Wheeling here. So it was a siege and not a battle, so I hate having to say that we lost at Wheeling. I really do. But I had no control. When I let it go to a siege and stop paying attention to it, that is my fault. Though you'd think you would get a warning in the dispatches that we're about close. Final commanders are wounded. Lieutenant Colonel Gordon, Lieutenant Colonel Seymour, Lieutenant Colonel Alisher, and Colonel Phillips. So like I said, I gotta go through those corps and replace those officers. Looks like all brigade commanders, thankfully. So we'll end this one here. If you're a new viewer, return viewer, if you've not yet subscribed, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you do, remember to hit that bell icon so alert when the next video comes out. If you like a brigade in one of my armies, please let me know in the comments below. Type of unit, state it's from, weapons, uniforms, and officers, and I will oblige on all counts if possible. And comments, as always, please do keep them coming. I do love engaging with you guys. And I will see you all at the next episode. Stay grumpy.